Part 5. When is a line not a line? Or periods. You might think of a line as just what you see written on the page, but today we're going to take a look at how poetry is divided from a metrical perspective. Often the lines on the page are a fine guide to the structure of a poem, but when we look at metre in depth, scholars have a more rigorous system. Instead of a line, we're going to look at what's called a period. To get to grips with this concept, we first need to think about poetry not as a string of words, but as a stream of sounds that all flow together. The technical term for this stream of sound is synaphia, which means linking together. Depending on the preceding or following sounds, sometimes a syllable might be pronounced differently. The syllable might therefore take more or less time to say. For example, sometimes a long vowel is pronounced more quickly when another vowel follows it. The rules for these changes depend on the kind of poetry in question and when it was composed. This is all to say that sounds from different words can affect each other and thus affect the overall rhythmical pattern. However, at the end of a period, there is a break in the stream of sounds. The end of one period does not affect the rhythm at the start of the next period. This is not quite the same as a line, which just ends whenever the typesetter inserts a line break. We can see a situation where this distinction matters in our example. Oio non basileus ineon hocelai nosodex sopinargas is printed over 2 lines on the page, probably to save space, but there is no break in synaphia. The stream of sound remains uninterrupted, so it's still one period made up of a spondee, 6 dactyls, and then another spondee. The fact that it's printed over 2 lines doesn't matter from a metrical perspective. This is also why a word can be split across lines in places like these. So, technically speaking, strophes are made up of periods, not lines. But in most cases, they'll mean more or less the same thing.